when I was playing basketball and winning those championships and playing with some of the greatest players, I knew that I wanted to become a businessman, but I had to admit to myself I didn't know business. So the first thing I did was got me some mentors. And that was very important because those mentors could teach me business. And I'm always thirsty for knowledge. So I gravitated to those who could give me the proper knowledge that I needed to become a good businessman, much like I did with basketball. Same thing. Let me have the lights come up because I'm gonna come down because I'm not a stage speaker. I like to be down with the people. So the beautiful thing about it is that I was able to get with the right mentors. First, Dr. Buss, who owned the Lakers, and I said to him, hey, Dr. Buss, after I'm done playing, I want to become a businessman. And thank God he allowed me to shadow him, learn from him, and he taught me so much about not only the Laker business, but business in general. And what he really taught me was always think about the customer. Customer first and customer second. So when I got to become a businessman, I've always been able to over-deliver to my customers. And I carved out my own lane and my own niche. Don't let anybody tell you which way to go. Carve out your own lane, your own niche. I didn't play basketball like everybody, so I was not going to become a businessman like everybody. The no-look passes, all day. I invested in urban America when everybody told me you couldn't win. When everybody said you couldn't make money. See, I went against what everybody said. And sure enough, understanding the black and brown community, what they needed, what they wanted. So I went to Sony and said, hey, we want to go to the movies. The black and brown community wanted to take their families to movies, but there was no theaters in our community. So I did a deal with Sony to build Magic Johnson theaters. And they said, no way it'll work in the inner cities of America. Well, I proved them all wrong. My first theater came in top 10 highest grossing theaters in the nation. But see, I understood the spending power. Latinos right now about a $1.8 trillion spending power. African Americans about a $1.5 trillion spending power. So that's $3 trillion that nobody was going after. And I said, oh man, that much spending power? So I knew that if I build them, they would come. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. But I had to change this concession stand because the black and brown community don't eat like everybody else. Jalapeno peppers had to be at my theater. We grew up on Kool-Aid, so I had to have grape, orange, strawberry. Had to take the Coke and Pepsi out. But the reason I'm telling you this is because my per caps were higher than any theater in the nation. And that's how much a customer spends at the concession stand. See, understanding your customer, over-delivering to your customer, then you will definitely be successful. And because of that success, I said, okay, let me come back to that same community that I know And I approached Howard Schultz and Starbucks and said, hey, black and brown community, we drink coffee too. So sure enough, Howard Schultz said, man, let me take a look at it. I said, the growth of your business have to be through the inner cities of America. And he took a look at it, the board signed off, everybody signed off, and I started building Starbucks in the inner cities of America. When everybody thought it would never work, LA Times said, no way minorities will pay $3 for a cup of coffee. We'll pay $3 for a cup of coffee, but we quite don't know what scones are in our community. So we had to take the scones out of my Starbucks, sweet potato pie, peach cobbler, and that little change made my per cap shoot through the roof. And then, what's your name, my man?
Kevin.
Stand on up, Kevin. Who your favorite music artist?
Coldplay.
So I had to take Coldplay out of my Starbucks. Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Prince. Whoa. Why did I say that? Because of my customer base. Come on, stand on up, get a selfie since you played with me. Give him a hand. Thank you. I still can't play Coldplay, but you're all right with me. So I built 125 Starbucks in 40 different markets when they said no way it would ever work. I wanted scale, so I understood this. Now, I want you to write this down. This is very important. Forget the phones or right now in terms of pictures. Make sure when you come to these things, it's about knowledge. See, I've been to a lot of conferences in my career because I wanted to gain knowledge. Now, when I built the first Starbucks, I did not take money from that Starbucks. I let the first one build the second one. I didn't take money from the second one because I wanted the second one to build the third one. I didn't take money from the third one because I wanted the third one to build the fourth one. And so on and on. I didn't take any money out the business because I put money back into the business so that I could get the scale that I wanted. So by the time I did take money out, wow, what a check. So don't bleed your business. Very important. You want to build a business and a successful business, you want to get 20, 30, 40 stores, on and on and on. And then write this down. Make sure you have an exit strategy. Exit strategy. Every business I built, there's an exit strategy to it. We knew at 125 I was going to exit. So I sold those Starbucks back to Howard Schultz and Starbucks. So what is your exit strategy going to be with your business? Always remember that it's important that you know what is your goal? What are you trying to achieve with this business? Now for me, I like multiple revenue streams. So just about every business I invest in, multiple revenue streams. The theaters had it, Starbucks had it, and of course all the sports teams, they have it. I don't fall in love with nothing that I own. I might have crushed some people with that one. If a guy knock on my door or a young lady and say, here's $1 trillion, sold. Or here's 100 million, sold. I'm in business to make money, but I exit quick if I get the right number. And then guess what? I go start another business. I sold the theaters to AMC, Starbucks, back to Starbucks. And you just keep going. So after that, I got into owning the Lakers. Yeah, Dr. Buss allowed me to be an owner of the Lakers. And God rest his soul, number 8, he was on our incredible team. But I gotta tell you a secret. I knew he was getting older and the market value of the Lakers was this high. And guess what I did? One more time. Sold it. So I'm sitting on hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of cash, selling Starbucks, selling the Lakers, and whoever thought that this basketball player would be a baseball owner. The Dodgers came up for sale. See, we're all here today, and it's about a couple thousand people. It's gonna be a crime if you guys don't get at least 50 cards from people in this audience. When I go to conferences, I network and I grab business cards. You might not run into that person today. You might not need that person today. But in a year from now, you might call them up and say, remember me, I was at Aspire conference, and you do this and I do that. Let's come together and start a business. I've started 3 businesses with people just like that. So make sure that you network. And then for all the minorities in here, I gotta tell you a secret. Partnerships are good. See, the other group of people, they know that. We think we gotta own 100% of everything. No, you don't have to. I built my business on partnership. 50% of 100 million is pretty good. 50% of 50 million is pretty good. So understand, partnerships are good. Why? You bring something to the table, they bring something to the table. And quit worrying about who's gonna lead the deal. And that's for everybody. When we walk in as partners, we already say, you're gonna lead. You know the people, you lead. I stand back. I don't care who leads. All I wanna do is make money. If my partner got the knowledge and the skill to get the deal done, we gonna ride him. Sometimes we worry about things like that, and that stops us from being successful. Because we think we gotta own our own business 100%. No, you don't have to. Just make sure it's the right partner. And all the minorities, write this down too. No, your family can't be in your business. Uh-oh. You know I'm talking about everybody. Uh-oh. You guys didn't want to hear that one, did you? I pay my family to stay away. That's real. More businesses have failed, especially in the Black and brown community, because family members. Uh-oh. Why? You hired them and they didn't have the skill set. Now, if you hire them, put them in a role that they're good at. But more businesses have failed because you didn't hire the right people. So make sure you hire the right people. And the next thing you gotta do is make sure your technology is on point. Invest in your technology, everybody. Keeping up with the volume of business you have, keeping up with all the different orders that's coming in. You need very good technology to do that. More businesses have failed because of that as well. You can't do it by hand, too slow. You need that technology. I remember I went to a Disney conference because I've always wanted a Disney contract. Because if you get Disney, then other companies open up to you because Disney back then was the standard. So I went to the conference and it was about 5,000 people there. And the guy said, when I need 1 billion napkins tomorrow, you gotta deliver 1 billion napkins on that date. I said, uh-oh. I turned to my people and said, we not ready. So I passed on trying to get a contract with Disney until I built my team up and my technology up. I went back 3 years later to go try to get a Disney contract. And guess what happened? I won. No clapping. I now serve all the employees at Disneyland, almost 300,000 employees. I feed them 3 meals a day. So just saying, no, I'm not ready, write that down. If you're not ready, pass on the deal. Because if you win that deal, and you don't deliver, your company and your brand is done. Can't come back from that. So make sure you're ready. See, some people want big deals or they want scale, but they're not ready. Make sure you're ready to handle a major contract. Then I told my team 5 minutes of celebration, and then we got to get back to business because guess what? Disneyland is not the biggest contract. Disney World got 400,000 employees. So I said if we over-deliver to Disneyland, it's going to put us in a position to get both contracts. Sure enough, for 3 years, we did a fantastic job. 3 years later, the RFP came out for Disney World. And guess what? I won. So now at all the parks, those 2 parks, Mickey and Minnie eat my food, right? Wait a minute. Grew up poor, but I didn't have poor dreams. I grew up broke, but look at me now. See, I'm telling you, you can do it. Because I'm living proof that you can do it. No matter what your area code is, no matter where you come from, you can be successful. But it's gonna be a lot of hard work. I'm not gonna tell you to do this, but this is what I do. I wake up every morning at 4 o'clock. I go to bed at 8 because there's nothing on TV I wanna see past 8 o'clock. Why do I get up at 4? Because I want to work out, and then a couple hours later, everything on the East Coast is open. If you're going to be in business, you got to first be disciplined. You got to be focused. Your business strategy has to be on point. That business thesis is so important. And then, who are you going after? Who's going to support your business? Make sure you understand who's going to be your core customer. You have to understand that. You have to understand who also your competitors are. What are they doing in the marketplace? What are their price points? You have to know these things before you even open your doors. That's very, very important. Every business I'm in, I know who my competitors are. And then write this down. What added value can you drive added value? What added value are you going to bring to that business? See, when I buy a business, I already know I can drive added value. I know that from day one. So can you add value to that business? That's going to decide whether you should buy it or not. Should you invest or not? So the Dodgers, look what happened. We waited for a whole year, then signed some of our popular players back. Everybody was mad at us, and then look what happened. We got the world's best player. Now, we were already number one in attendance for 11 straight years that we've owned the team. We've been number one in fan attendance. Now Shohei comes. Everybody was mad at us because we're paying them $700 million. Guess how much money we're gonna make? That's why you pay somebody $700 million, because you know there's a big return. So understand the returns of your business. Understand what's going on. Right now, when I invested in the real estate market back in the day, I was always looking for a 30% return. Right now, you almost can't get that. It's down to around 20, but that's a good return. And if it's smaller than that, 10% is pretty good. Technology right now, about 10% return, right? About a 10x. Everything has changed, it's gotten tighter, but it's still some great returns out there. Make sure you understand your industry that you're getting into. So important. Look at the value of sports teams. That's why I keep investing in sports teams. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones paid $65 million for the team. Now it's worth $10 billion. So that's why sports teams, you see all these people now trying to invest in them. Now, I know that we got a chance to ask me some questions somewhere. We got some mics here? You got a mic? All right, cool. We got one on this side, my man right there. And then you can ask me some questions. My man got his hand up right here. You might want to stand up, that might make it easier so they can see you. Go ahead, my man. And let's get to the question. Let's get to the question so we can let a lot of people ask questions. Go.
How do you handle failure on business? How do you handle failure on businesses? You're very, you've been successful, but let's say there's a unsuccessful, how do you handle that?
I've had some unsuccessful businesses. So what I do is debrief with my team, make sure we talk about why did we fail, learn from that, and let's make sure it doesn't happen again, right? There's always going to be, when you think about, I've been in business for over 35 years, you're going to have some that hit home runs, and you're going to have some that hit singles and doubles and triples, and then you're going to have some that fail. And we always want to know, why did it fail? And it's not just in business, in that particular business, but also when we lose contracts or they don't pick my company. I always ask my team, well, why did you think they didn't pick us? Let's learn from that as well. So you continue to learn in business, right? Because everything's not going to go the way you plan. But you gotta be quick and nimble enough to also pivot. Okay, so let me see, the market crash, recession, I was building mixed use, condominiums and retail on the bottom, condominiums on top.